Hey, 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 what's up? Welcome back.
What is
West
going
Coast
on?
Wednesdays officially here. The girl Mo and Mel, Girl Chat Sports. We are back Wednesday, just a tad early. We all know Mo loves her Lakers, and I know one of our guest does too. So we wanted to make sure that everybody was able to catch us as well as catch the entire or majority of the Lakers Warriors game, which is the play-in coming on tonight at 7. Are you ready, Mo?
I'm ready.
You ready for the game?
Very ready.
Good news is the loser still has one more game to play. So either way,
they're getting into a seed. San Antonio, Memphis. Yeah. Who's gonna beat them?
I've been sleeping. I just told our guest, I was like, I really haven't even paid attention to San Antonio or Memphis probably all season. So I watched this game and was like, oh, they're in the play-ins. Like I hadn't really thought about the other two teams because the hype has been around this Warriors.
Lakers. Everybody wants to talk about
Lakers game.
Of course. Yeah, everybody wants to talk about this.
The Steph and LeBron show. But before we even get into anything, I mean, I just want to, just go right into our guests because we have a bunch of hot topics we want to get on. We've got the rest of sports going on. We've got WNBA, NBA, the playoffs coming up. Our Vegas Golden Knights are having some incredible time at the last two games, as well as our Aces first home game this Friday. So let's just bring them on. We got Mykell hitting the airwaves. Hey.
Hi, Mykell.
Hey, how you doing, ladies? Thank you so much for having me. I'm ready to talk to sports, man. I have a fellow Laker fan with me, so I know.
Yes, you sure do. You sure do.
Yeah. I love it.
So Mykell is also one of the hosts of Courtside Radio and Don't At Me, which I definitely want to hear more about. And also is one of the managers for the Good News Sports, which is like its own network and everything else over there. So based out in Cali, correct?
Yes, Los Angeles, California. Yep.
Yes. So we're definitely hitting up the West Coast Wednesdays. Grab your checks and everything else. And let's get going. But Mykell, I guess before we start, why don't you just let us know kind of about you, how the Good News Sports took off, and about your guys' podcast when you have them, when you guys have episodes and stuff.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just start off with our network. So the Good News Radio, we just started off a network of shows who came together. Shout out to my guy Keith, the founder and CEO. He started it off as a show in his dad's basement and was like, you know what, we can be bigger than a show. Let's create a network. So we started adding like several shows on, and then it was like, all right, sports is so huge here in LA with the Rams on their way at the time. We're like, we got to have a sport. So that's when we got TGN Sports and added in some great shows, personalities to have that grow. And so far, so good. It's been about a year and a half, 2 years. We've been going and been moving pretty good here in LA. We have a show syndicated out in Milwaukee. So for the LA fans, they can hear about the Packers and Milwaukee Bucks, a couple teams that, we don't really care about if they aren't the Lakers. So, and when it comes to my shows, Courtside Radio, it's a group of us, 5 of us, and, we just do our things every Monday, Thursday, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. live. You can listen in through our Good News Radio app. We have our own app through our network, so you can tune in there, or you can find Courtside Radio on all other platforms as well. And then Don't At Me, another co-host from Courtside. We have our own separate show that you can watch via YouTube called Don't At Me, where it's just 2 guys having fun, enjoying it. We like to call ourselves the more hip version of PTI. So we try to bring you that blend, a guy from South Central, which is myself, and then a guy from Beverly Hills. So it's just a little different, but we're doing our thing, man. We enjoy it.
Very cool. Who's the Wilbon? Are you the Wilbon in this situation? Are you like a PTI?
I would say so. I would say that I'm Wilbon. So yeah, I like Wilbon a lot. So yeah, I would say I'm that guy.
Okay.
Right on. That's dope.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, let's just get into it a little bit then. We've got some hot topics. We might as well just start off with the biggest one that's been happening. We got Kwame Brown, who probably no one's heard of his name. If you're under 18, you probably don't even know who he is until the last few days, because the man has been all over social media. He's involved with Steven Jackson, Maya Barnes, I think he even threw like Jamel Hill into it recently as of today. But anybody want to kind of give the viewers a little rundown of the situation that started it?
They disrespected him, plain and simple, and they got literally the smoke. And that's just it. This man has been in the league for 20 years, or out of the league 20 years. Drafted number 1 draft pick back in the day by Michael Jordan, of course, picked him to be on, that squad and stuff. And he was like that guy that was kind of a road kind of player, did a lot of moving around, shuffling around, was a Laker at one point, got traded, but was in the league for literally 19 years. So, I mean, give him his flowers for lasting being the number 1 first-round draft pick to have a career for 19 years. Some of these number 1 draft picks are a bust these days. I'll mention a few. Anthony Bennett was one. We don't even know where he is. But you got somebody like Kwame Brown out there who has kept quiet this whole time, living his best life.
True.
And it just kind of started with the Up in Smoke podcast, which, I mad props to Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson because I love the show. I love their concept and everything. And they had Jeannie Buss on there. Okay, of course, you're going to have the Jeannie Buss on there. And she's mentioning teams and players and how Marc Gasol had got traded previously in the past for Powell and how they had to trade Kwame Brown. And I guess they kind of threw a little dig in about Kwame. Yeah. And it just didn't set too well with the man because the man's like, listen, I'm chilling, minding my business. And now y'all want to say something. I haven't said anything. And it could have been pit up aggression because people don't really give Kwame his flowers like they should. No. They usually will cite him, early with things. And a shout out to Steven Sr. because, he spoke his truth. He definitely spoke his truth. And the thing of it is with Jamel Hill and Rachel Nichols, because he threw her in there too, because people were sounding off to her show, just basically the setup of it all. And, Jamel Hill was saying, listen, I saw her tweet. She's like, look, I was just quote Game of Thrones that you chose violence. I was on the Game of Thrones thing. But
she said, leave my mom out of it.
But at the same time, she should have stayed out of it. When grown men are handling stuff, stay out of it. That's grown men's. He's a grown ass man. 100%. And if women are talking, a man needs to stay out of the women's smoke. Like you not this. If I was on a show and someone said, well, what do you think? I don't think nothing. I'm staying out of this. This is grown men having their issues. Let them sort that smoke out. So she chose, she went in and he came after her for a little bit. But Gilbert Arenas, I will say, is very smart because he reached out to him to quash whatever issue he had because he knew that this man is a grown man and knew that he was not wanting none of that smoke.
Mo, do you know why? Mo, do you know why Gilbert actually hit him up? Because Gilbert he said
some stuff too. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Gil was like, he'd been out to bars before with Kwame Brown, and he remembered Kwame Brown and his brother beating up like 19 guys, according to Gilbert Arenas. So he's like, I don't want any of that smoke.
And the man is from the South.
Yeah.
With this man. This man is from the Carolinas. They built different, and they're not about that life. Like they're not about to just let you muddle their name. Okay, it's about all of that, and him being a grown man and calling Matt Becky with the good hair and telling telling Steven Jackson he needs to put the blunt down and pull up his pants and take off the do-rag, be a grown man. Like you went in, and the fact that you even hit further for the jugular. Telling Matt Barnes that Derek Fisher picks up your kids and takes them to practice. What are you doing? You probably spending time in the mirror.
That he driving your car.
Ex-wife. Like, and I'm in a truck. We down south. We're in truck. Like, don't mess with this guy. Leave that man alone. You have woken a sleeping giant, and I really don't think you want those hands. I don't think you want it. He gave the best tongue lashing I've ever heard in a long time. He's on my calendar for May for sure.
No, yeah. And it sucks for Kwame Brown. Just because, here in LA, he has been a punching bag for years.
Yes, he has.
Because he played with some of Kobe's best years of his career. He was a first overall pick. So the expectation was that he would be a much better player and things like that. And he did help the Lakers get Pau Gasol. He was a part of that trade. And he's just been a punching bag for so many. So I think he finally said either that's enough. No more you guys picking on me, or he's like, hey, they're mentioning my name. This is perfect time to get my clout chase on. So I'm going to attack this every day until, Matt Barnes said, "Hey, come get on the show, and we can talk about this." So maybe that's what
he doesn't want that. Don't guarantee.
They don't want that.
Don't
ask
that. Don't ask that.
But what I think is funny is that I actually went through. I didn't realize Kwame had an Instagram, but now that he's out there, so I'm on his Instagram, and Gilbert Arenas had been liking all of his posts up until this point. Like, they had seemed to have been social media and decent friends enough to have been exchanging, like a commodity, whatever. And next thing you know, I'm like, hey, so how is Gilbert involved in this when this man is sitting here? It's just too much.
Because Gilbert said something too and opened his mouth, and then Gilbert had to call and apologize.
Yeah.
And said, "Listen, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry." Like they patched it up. They're good. So his vendetta right now is Stephen A. Smith. Maybe us, Jamel, anybody that mentions this man's name, I say leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't even mention it. Don't.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. I really don't want him coming from me.
I love Michael Jordan, but I'm not trying to get involved in whatever
towards
that. So just leave me.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Don't even let them grown men settle it. Maybe there'll be a celebrity boxing match over it. Maybe you don't know what it parlays into.
Listen, I'd rather watch that over Ocho Cinco boxing any day.
Oh, of course.
Yes, I will watch that over an old Mike Tyson versus an old Roy Jones.
I feel like that should be the versus, like versus Matt and Steven Jackson. Like, do that versus because he's already given you a snippet of what his words do to you.
Do it in Vegas.
And I'm saying, leave him alone.
Right.
Leave that grown man alone. Let him pastor off. He was holding up his nuggets from Chick-fil-A on YouTube. Like, look, I'm picking up my food for my kids, and I got to stop with this stuff. Like, leave that man alone. Let him be.
My only gripe about the situation, though, is that Kwame came out blazing, and it was great, and I was all there for it. But then it was like, then you start getting the banter back and forth from Stack and from Matt, and then it turned into more of like, it started getting kind of catty, and then you throw in like, baby's mamas and whatever into it, and then you throw in like how you got security when you used to play for the Lakers, don't make me call Matt. Like that stuff was just starting to get corny. I was like, stop, get back to the knit and grit. And that's what I wanted to hear.
But that's not what guys do. If you're going to insult everybody, you're going to dig deep. The insults don't go business wise; they go personal. It's like a rap battle. We're not going to attack you on some mellow kumbaya Hallmark stuff. We're going for the jugular. That means that's a sign to say, "Do not mess with me. Leave me alone."
And another thing,
say more stuff.
Kwame Brown, what can he really say? Because his career was terrible if you think about him being the first overall pick. So he's like, I can't say anything about Steven Jackson, who's a champion, Matt Barnes, who has so many years of a career. So Kwame is like, hey, I'm bigger than you. South, what do you want to do? Because I'm ready for all the smoke.
And
I'm grown now. I'm not 18
Matt
no
Barnes
more.
was a stud, but he was also a role player too, who got traded and traded and traded and traded. He was that same way too. So you can't be dissing somebody that you done the same kind of things to. Exactly. You've done that same type of career path as well. Like, please, stall me out.
We got some great comments in the section. I've been kind of holding them off. But shout out to Stevenson, you're still back in here. And he couldn't. He spoke his truth. That was great. Natalie, thank you for joining in. I know Natalie wants us to talk about the Aces, of course. G Bus, full of ish, and Jerry West off.
To leave Jerry, that's a personal political thing, Steven Sr. You know that. That's all. That's some drama internally.
Mr. Bill Block Logan in the house. Thank you. Appreciate it. E. Carice, we appreciate that.
Carice, So that's drama. That's some personal stuff.
Plus, he works for the Clippers, so
he works for the Clippers now. And even before all that, there was some kind of stuff going on with them. So she's gonna take him off the list out of a petty whatever,
Kente said Jordan turned Brown into a monster. I mean, we saw we saw how Jordan was even during the documentary with his own teammates that he'd been with for a long time with the Bulls. Imagine him coming at the Wizards where he really isn't tripping no more. Like he ain't even. He's not even a family.
18-year-old child. It was an 18-year-old kid. 18-year-old kid. Stop it. Like I said, leave that grown man alone. They do. They better leave him alone. They better leave him alone.
Kwame had it the worst.
Kwame came at like somebody's uncle, and I was like, I ain't here for it. Kwame
had it the worst. Can you imagine being a young player trying to find your way? your first leader is Michael Jordan, and we know how he is. Then your second leader is Kobe Bryant. Like you had all, like you had nothing that you can do, to make those guys love you. You know?
And then you got dumbass Doug Collins up there coaching y'all. Like I can't even. It's too much.
You better leave Mr. Brown alone. My family namesake is Brown on my mom's side. I know how those Browns get down. Leave them Browns alone. I'm just saying. I felt that through my soul the way he was going off. Like, I understand. I understand.
For him to do it every day it shows that he means business.
He does.
Leave that man alone.
Leave him alone. He came out of hiding after 20-some years of retirement. Ain't nobody mentioned Kwame Brown at their mouths for years. And then comes post-pandemic. I mean, we're still kind of in pandemic, but opening up, and now he opens up. Like, stop it.
He said, y'all call all the smoke. I'm bringing all the smoke. Y'all
right. Yeah. Shout out to BS. Join the party. BS. We appreciate that. Got to get him back on the show too.
Yes,
but
we do.
Yeah, and I think it was just funny because I mean, when I remember Kwame Brown, he was 18. He was just like, no one, number one draft pick, low, very, very minimally speaking, didn't talk much. Now he got this grown man voice too. Like his voice is deep, southern drawl. And I was like,
he's a grown man.
Wow.
He's somebody's uncle. You better let him be. Let him be driving his trucks down south in the Carolinas. One thing I know is you don't mess with Southern men like that. And big Southern men. I need
somebody's
like
uncle then, cause
like he's.
I was like, okay, Kwame, let me know you grew up around here.
Yeah, you really, you going to Chick-fil-A picking up nuggets for your kids. You had time this week. Like
you could have brought me some chicken nuggets. Could have got me a waffle fry. Like, dang.
He had the time. Hey,
I need a bodyguard. Kwame Brown, what's up, man? I need a bodyguard.
Shoot. Gilbert made that call immediately. He was like, wait, bro. Let's pick this up because I made a mistake.
Man.
They're good. Just so you know.
Man, listen. So I don't know about you out there, Mykell, but out here in Vegas, we go back to full capacity as of June 1st. It's going to be pretty much as if the pandemic never happened in Las Vegas, which has already kind of seemed like that from what we've kind of seen around the strip and what people have told me from being on the strip. It's kind of gotten out crazy again. People are coming here because some of their states are still shut down, even though the CDC has had this whole, if you're vaccinated, you can have your mask off. So we're still waiting to hear how that's going to affect sports because I don't think they're necessarily going to be allowing full capacity for all sports yet and such. But what is it? How is it out there in LA? I've heard that California was still a little bit behind schedule as far as the other states or cities out there. I know you've been kind of similar to us here as far as not been wild and out crazy like, Georgia and Florida and Texas. But what's it like out there for you guys and for your sports teams?
Yeah, so things are starting to open up a little more. June 15th, we're supposed to get back to full capacity. So, let's see what happens. But they have like vaccination clubs. People are going to movie theaters. They're just keeping, making sure people keep a distance. Restaurants, you can start to sit inside. As far as like sports, I think we're at like 15% that can fill the arenas. Like when it comes to the media, like covering a few of the teams, they keep us at a distance. It's still Zoom when you chat with the players. So slowly but surely, I would say maybe July or maybe August, you will start to see more things open up fully. But I know LA is going to go a little slow because people come out here to visit. People come out here to party and do all those things. So they want to make sure that they take it easy because once the floodgates are open, people are going nuts out here in LA. So just kind of like Vegas too. So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, it's so interesting. So far, people are still wearing their masks. Yeah. They're not, ready to really strip it. Some people are taking it like ready to rip the Band-Aid. A lot of people are still like, wait, let's give it a little, we'll see. But I know
I was happy that
it's going to be.
Yeah. I went to the pool this week, and so I went on Monday, so it wasn't like a crazy weekend time, but I was happy that you don't have to have a mask on at the pool, which is nice because nobody wants to do that. However, still wearing it inside a casino, still wearing it inside an elevator, like I'm not ready for that complete interaction where we're all
Plus,
stuck
I
in
don't
an
trust people
indoor
saying they're
facility.
vaccinated. If it's only less than 30% of the country, then you see, that's the 30% that's here visiting in Vegas. Like, are they really vaccinated?
Yeah.
Like, I don't trust that part of it either. And I know you really can't show proof, but you could show proof if you wanted to. But I just don't trust it. I just don't trust it yet.
True.
And so I'm still wearing my mask. Our job, our store has been lax where it's optional for you, optional for workers, whatever. But I'm still masking. And that's just my personal choice. There's no judgment to anything. It's just, let's see if it goes down. If it goes down and the vaccination rate goes up, then maybe that'll be a little more comfortable for me personally. But I know with the ACEs you were speaking of, like sports, they are only allowing season ticket holders to attend those games.
Okay.
And
as
it's
of
a
right
small
now,
kind of thing. Yeah. And then I hear Summer League's supposed to be coming back in August. So I don't know what that's going to
Summer League
look
is
like.
back, most definitely.
Yeah, back in August. So I don't know what that's going to look like. But I can't wait for it. Hopefully we can get in there. But just to see, I do mind the outdoor activities. I'm actually going to check out an Aviators game this Saturday. So this will be my first night game. Wish me luck and see how it goes. And see I'll give you the details on that and see what that looks like. So, but
that's good.
I need to know for you, Mykell, for Dodgers, because I'm a Dodgers girl as well as a Lakers girl. What them Dodgers seats looking like? What them tickets looking like? Is it a locals only? Because I know Disneyland is only locals, but I heard it's opened up a little bit for the baseball.
Yeah, so for the Dodgers, you can come from out of town. They're just keeping, like, they're going to make sure they keep their distance. It's a little more people in the arena compared to the Lakers games because you are outdoors.
Right.
I know in Anaheim, I think it's even more than the Dodgers as far as how many fans can come into the arena, because this whole time Orange County has been on a whole different game than the LA County area. They've been partying. Like, no lie, I went to a bar out there with my mask on, ready to go have fun. They were like, "You can't come in with your mask on." I'm like, "What?
You can't come in with your mask on?
You can't come in with the mask on?"
It was a no, they didn't allow masks.
What?
So Orange County, just know Orange County is on a whole nother level of living with the decisions they make there. But yeah, LA County, they're still being strict when it comes to the Dodgers, but it's just a little more than the Lakers and Clippers game, excuse me. But for the Angels, they're allowing a little more fans to be in there.
Oh, okay.
That's
good.
That's
man.
Crazy.
The Sparks have no fans though, which sucks. It's only media and people that work there. But hopefully soon, since they're playing in a convention center, it's not even a Staples Center, that they can get some fans in there just to give the ladies some encouragement.
They deserve it. Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy.
Us as a media, we can't be cheering. Yeah, we can't be cheerleaders. We're media. We have to cover them and be professional. So hopefully they get some fans to come in there and help support the ladies.
Yeah, I don't know. But speaking of the ladies, did you get a chance to catch the documentary 144? It's basically the experience of the women behind scenes of the Wobble from last year. That was great. I want to watch it again and just check it out. I mean,
it was really good.
Shout out to it was which of the sisters did it again? I forgot. Janae, yeah. Just the way that it was edited, just the stories behind it. We got to see Derek and her daughter in there a few times. There's all ladies in there, just kind of what they were trying to do behind the scenes in regards to social injustice and continuing to make an impact. Thoughts on the documentary?
Dope. I think they did a great job. Chanae is killing it when it comes to the media game. All her work she's doing with ESPN. It just gave us some behind the scenes that we usually get from the NBA that we never really get from the WNBA. And I just think they did a great job just to cover that, because the WNBA was such a strong piece when it came to the whole movement of players taking charge and speaking out for the social injustice, that it was great to see all of this, the things that they were doing, the things they had to deal with, because you got people out there writing books about the bubble and things like that, but we weren't hearing anything about the Wobble. So Chanae took it upon herself and said, "Hey, I'm going to give you the spiel on what was going on, what we dealt with, how we were able to be empowered there."
Right.
And they did a great job, man. So shout out to Chanae and the ladies of the WNBA. I really love it. You know, Kobe's like one of his missions was to give the women as much power that they can receive and as much help as they can to make their league grow. And like me, as a huge fan of Kobe, I'm like, I feel that the media, we should give these ladies the coverage that they need because they are great basketball players. I know a lot of guys talk mess, but if they step on the court with some of them women and play
they can't. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. They're going to drown.
Yeah.
Throw out the life preservers. It's over. Down goes Frazier. 5 minutes into the first.
Great job, man. Tanae did a great job. I hope to see more things like this from the WNBA just so we can really gain that relationship with their players, because that's why we love the Michael Jordans, the Shaqs, the Kobe Bryants, the LeBrons, because we get all this access to not only love them as players, but also away from the game. And I think the 144 did a great job in allowing us to gain some of these relationships, of course, from a distance, but with these players through the documentary.
And it was a great thing to kick off the celebratory 25 years of the WNBA existing. And it's starting to open up a platform for these ladies and making their mark known and putting them on ESPN, even though it was ESPN Plus, it still was on ESPN. To start to market that where we can start watching more games.
It was on it was on the regular ESPN.
It was on the regular, but then they added ESPN Plus after. So, but to have that even stream that way was just cool, you know, because we don't ever see that. They don't even discuss it on any shows. Like that's the crazy thing. Like WNBA is always this miss. And I think when we start seeing the backstage and the human side of these ladies and that they are moms and they are athletes and everything that they go through, I mean, it's that eye opener that was necessary and needed. So it was well done.
And speaking of that, what I really loved was that on Friday when it was the league's 25th. Inaugural day, 25th at the beginning of the season, all the guys from all over the league and the NBA were wearing, coaches had the polos on. The practice warm-ups had the t-shirts. Guys rolled in with players' jerseys. So it's just great to see the camaraderie from them. And it just, again, helps them be able to show that, yes, the ladies are out there. Let's go give them
They need to be the big brothers of those ladies. They need to be the big brothers, and they need to be their sisters. They need to have that camaraderie. It is necessary, and it's long overdue. So to see that, and it's, again, the awareness is out there, right? So that's it's going to only get bigger and better, I think.
Hey, I'm waiting for my jersey. It should be here. I believe it said the 28th.
Which one you getting? Your Sparks?
I got the Sparks, their black jerseys, NECA, Agumike's jersey.
Oh, okay. That's
really dope. I just love I love all the jerseys. Like I see Mel has the Aces jersey. I just love.
And this ain't even the new one. Like the new one is fire. I'm going to get that red one next. So I want that red Aces jersey. That joint is nice.
I like the Aces ones. If some of them rolled up, but that Indiana Fever one hit so hard with the Stranger Things. Ooh, oh my God, it's nice. I was like, fire. It'll match with one of my J's. I'll wear that too.
I love it.
Yeah, and shout out to Goose Thomas who checked in from Multiple Bounds. He apparently knows that you're Keith and their fellow Sigmas apparently in the frat game. So shout out to Goose for checking in. We appreciate you. Of course, shout out to Good News Radio. If you are tuning in right now, we are chatting with Mykell, host of Courtside Radio and Don't At Me podcast. The Good News Sports right there in the background too, so we can check it out. Make sure you give them a follow for sure. We'll get all your information towards the end of the show, but I just want to make sure everybody that is tuning in, we're getting some people that are different following and coming in. So I want to make sure they knew what was going on. Another hot topic that I knew Mo would love because I saw it and was like, oh, this is right up Mo's alley because Mo's also our fashion, side of things too. But GQ announced the prettiest man alive.
They didn't announce it. He announced it. He said he's the prettiest man around. So they went with it.
Oh,
and I can't be mad at him. If that's what you think. You think he's the prettiest man around? He's got Rihanna. He's the prettiest man around.
I feel like he can say that now because he has Rihanna. But a year ago, I don't think he could say I'm the prettiest man alive. People like,
I mean, one thing about APRocky was that he's a style icon anyway in the rap game. And again, this is one of those things. He's been on GQ before. 2017 featured ASAP. His favorite sneakers out of the Jordan collection is the 1s and 4s. He'll cite all of that. He knows his stuff. He knows what he likes. He has great taste. he's so vain with that, my pretty, that when it came to asking about what type of facial cleansers do you like, he's like, I like the one that makes me handsome. So again, my skin type is handsome. That's my skin type.
Oh my,
so you got to understand, a guy like that is going to say he's a pretty person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on top of it, looking at the doodads and the outfits that he's wearing, which are just far from amazing. I mean, just on the cover alone, the cuffs retail for $56,000. Just the cuffs on his wrist.
The cuffs on his wrist.
The cuffs on his wrist.
Wow.
Are by Verdura. On the left wrist is $56,000, $72,000 on the right. The kilt is by Vivienne Westwood. Shout out to Vivienne Westwood. I have a pair of her shoes. I love them. The kilt is $950. The low belt is $1,195. So again, no average man could put that together and stun out the door with it. I get that. But this is APRocky. He's a rapper. We're not ASAP. We're not APRocky. So it's a totally different. It's a totally different element on that level. It's just totally different. But can I say hello to the headpiece?
Huh? This guy said, Eric says, I'm the ugliest.
He's the ugliest? No,
BS said second prettiest.
Yes, second pretty. Hey, I know for a fact men get in that mirror probably and say, I'm looking pretty today.
Listen.
Without admitting it publicly. Thank you, Mykell.
Course. You have
get
to
in
look
there
at
and
yourself.
you say you're pretty too. So I can't knock him for saying he's pretty. I mean, hey, I wake up feeling gorgeous sometimes. Sometimes I will wake up feeling like, oh, who shot John? But at the end of the day, I'm going to be like, yeah, pretty girl rock. But the guys say it too. We don't have a pretty Tony for a reason. We don't have a pretty Ricky for a reason.
Yeah.
But there is that kind of narrative that there
Muhammad
is.
Muhammad Ali used to always say, hey, I'm the prettiest. So my go-to is looking in the mirror. I stole it from Fresh Prince, where Will was like, mirror, mirror on the wall. Damn, I'm fine, you know. So
hey,
that's the go-to right there.
If you got it, you got it. I can't be mad at him walking the little pearls that were by Chanel and some other place. Like, all I can say is I can take pieces from this and add it to my wardrobe. And in one of the pictures, it was a belt actually that they used as a chain. So not only is it giving you an education on accessorizing, but what you can use with your accessories to do different things with.
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking
it.
He may not be the man of the year for GQ, but he's definitely pretty on that thing. He says he's pretty. We just roll with it.
Yeah.
And one other thing I want to share, just because, last couple episodes, me and Mo have mentioned some shoes that were coming to drop that we're looking at or we couldn't get on. I've mentioned 1,000 times, I don't like lows. I don't want no lows. I'm not a low fan. But let me tell you this. I saw these bad boys is coming out in August. Now, they had some high tops very similar, which I couldn't get. I really want them for my WNBA jersey and for my, WNBA apparel. These, listen.
Those are beautiful.
Hey, I didn't get the Chicago 1 KO AJ. So AJ 1
I know
KO,
you didn't.
So I'm tight about it all. I don't want no low. I wanted the high top ones, the Chicago's. I woke up that morning waiting for that thing to roll down. Did not happen. I'm not a big low one person myself either, Mel, too. But yeah, they got some heat on, but you wear mid, so I'm not surprised by you saying you get these lows, quite honestly.
But I like mid.
Yeah, but you're tall wearing mitts, and that to me makes no sense as a fashion person. Like, I just don't understand it. But it's your style. I'm not
because also mitts have way more colorways that I like, and I like to match. So I like to have my shoes match my stuff.
Yeah,
and so I more colorways.
I pop a color shade that's just different and throw it with anything.
Those are the only ones. Those are the only ones I'm not a fan of, are the mids. But the lows, they just remind me of the SB Dunks.
Yeah. I'm not a big dunk fan.
And the SB Dunks that are coming out, the Paul Rodriguez's,
that's
the one I want to chase.
Yes.
I want those. And if Sneakers does me dirty again, I'm tweeting them, I'm blasting them. If I don't get those Paul Rodriguez shoes, I swear to God, it's going to be on and popping.
Hey, I've been winning on Undefeated, like winning their rap. Like the raffles. I just got the Hall of Fame Kobe's. So I was like, okay,
nice.
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, you're doing good. Okay,
I'm doing pretty good. So hopefully the Paul Rodriguez's shoes come through for me, so I'm gonna actually wear those because those things
I
are
was
so
thinking
dope.
about that. Like, it's like, if I get them, do I let them sit dead? Because I wanted the chunky dunks too, and Ben and Jerry's. And
Oh
shout out
yeah.
to the lady I saw the other day with the chunky dunks on in my store, and I was like, oh my god, your shoes are so freaking fresh. She's like, they're fresh, aren't they? I was like, yes, please don't crease them, don't do it. She's like, I know, but
Yeah.
they are so fly. But those Paul Rodriguez's, if you have to, and see, Undefeated is one of those stores in LA. They work for you guys in LA. That's your LA go-to. We have an Undefeated here. It does buckets for us. It does nothing for us.
Yeah, they look out for us.
My big ask for you, Mykell, is if you have another team member with you that was to slide in, get an 8.5 men's or 9, I'm willing to kick down and help you out to get those, because I really, really want those. Like, those are so different.
Okay.
Oh my God, they speak volumes to me. Not to mention the waffle Cortezes that are coming out too. I want those too. And I feel like they won't get hit as much.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, because I'm not a big Cortez fan. So
I'm not either, but the waffle Vapor Maxes are dope because they have that little street. They're just edgy. And they're just a little different. And I can't chase the Dragons with Jordans anymore. After the AJ1 KOs, after that dismissed, and the UNC 4s, the UNC 1s, the Shadow Black 1s that just came out, I can't trace the Dragon anymore with those. Like, I'm done. So I may have to go the other way. And who knows? We both might get lucky and get those Paul Rodriguez.
You know what's crazy is I had a discussion with Simone Augustus. And she was like, yeah, I'm like a typical fan of shoes. I've been taking all of these L's. I'm like, what? You're a WNBA player.
You taking L's?
Easily, yeah, you taking L's. So just recently, he said that she got the right plug. So now she's starting to get them. But I'm just like, hey, looks like she was taking the L's with us. So I feel special as well.
Don't feel as bad, right?
Yeah. I need somebody that has an agent that has an apparel request with Nike. That's all I need.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ask for much, just special ones that come out. I still want the Grinch Pronto.
Yeah, I don't want them all, just a couple.
Just a couple to throw in there.
I had to go to StockX. I finally pulled the trigger and got my Khalifas. I need them blue and greens, right? And
the Seahawk ones.
Yeah, and I was following them. I was following it like a girl, like the stock market. I was watching for the high, saw it dip low, saw it climb back up, was like, whoop, grab it right now before it goes high again, because now it's going back up. So I'm like, listen. So
yeah, didn't nobody want those though? Anyway,
they got my little taxes. They got my little. Well, there's enough people out there that been wanting them.
I'm only joking. Only in the Seahawks community. I'm only kidding.
I couldn't get them for the 140. I had to pay extra from that.
But you only had to pay like $2 something for them?
Yeah, it was low too.
That's not bad.
So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But when they first dropped, it was like 300. So I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Well, they was going to drop the people.
What I really love about them too is that I didn't realize the bottoms they're gold. So it's almost like the green and gold of the Sonics. When you look at just the bottom or Storm, whatever you want to say.
That sounds fresh.
They're pretty nice. I'm getting all the throwback Seahawk color stuff ready for season this year, because them shoes ain't going. They're just gonna get worn. Period. That's it.
Man.
You can mouth flex in them every once in a while. Ain't nothing. Hit them where it hurts on the gram one time.
I know, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
What's up to Les Pickett? He's tuning in. He's about ready to get ready for the game. It sounds like too. We got
late show gang. Don't bang, Mo. For sure, they don't bang. You know we got this. Come on.
Yeah, we better.
That's
We better.
Really? Like, come on, our full squad arsenal. The only reason we're in this position right now is because everybody got hurt.
Yeah, injuries.
And the fact that the Clippers took 2 L's because they didn't want to face us.
Yeah.
They knew. They took 2 L's in a row for that reason. I don't care what anybody says. They try to say, oh, no, we weren't trying to manipulate. Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
it
was
see us coming.
They were like, not in the first round. Well, let's wait until.
Yeah, let's wait.
Maybe they get hurt.
Let's see what happens with them against Phoenix if they win this round.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. You're going to be seeing the Warriors, who people didn't think was even going to make the playoffs, with the Lakers, who everybody assumed would already automatically be in it, to be now coming against each other for this play-in game. So now that it's starting, I mean, we know you guys are Laker fans. What do you think is going to be the challenge for the Lakers in winning this game?
I don't know. We have a full healthy squad. We're the number 1 defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, the challenge is going to be trying to neutralize Steph Curry. He's been dropping over 50 points the last couple of nights, but he's been dropping 50 points against other teams. He's never dropped 50 on us with the Lakers, not even the regular season play. I think he busted maybe 32 that game that we had in LA, and we still beat him. So it's a matter of what the defensive strategy is going to look like to neutralize him. You only have a few young Tito's on that team that can possibly shoot and score. It'd be a different narrative if Klay Thompson was in the game. You got the other side of Draymond Green that's going to try and defensively play up. But we got THT, Montrezl Harrell, Caruso. Is Caruso back? I think he's back.
Yeah, he's back. He's
Dennis
back.
Schroeder, Andre Drummond, Ben McLemore, LeBron. I'm sorry. Really? I'm sorry. Like, I don't want it to be a blowout. I don't want it to be a blowout, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't
You don't think it's going to be close?
I don't see them being close, but I also see them going to that 9th seed position. I see them playing San Antonio or Memphis, whoever wins out of that game. That's what I see.
Because think about this, because I believe the Lakers are going to take care of business. I think this was the worst scenario for the Western Conference teams because the Lakers get this warm-up game to prepare them for the actual playoffs, so they're not going to slip up in the game one. It's just too much. Steph can't do everything for them. If you saw yesterday's Wizards Boston game where they just allowed Jason Tatum to go crazy, the Lakers are going to be like, no way. Let's throw the double out. Make Wiggins, make Draymond Green Mr. Triple Single. Have to beat us as far as scoring. And I think the Lakers are going to be okay. And if the Lakers jump out to a big lead, I think Steve Kerr is going to say, all right, hey, looks like they got us this game. Let's kind of rest Steph and those guys so we can get ready for the battle for the
for the battle for the next. Yeah.
So I think the Lakers are just too much. AD's too much.
It is too much.
LeBron, those guys are ready to go.
Even though Marc Gasol's not fundamentally that effectively big, but he will be post even if you allow him to foul out and you still got other bigs waiting in the wings. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just logically speaking, it's just not a – I got bettors out there saying that Golden State could take it. I'm ready to take y'all money.
The refs are going to ref this game like a playoff game because pretty much that's what it is. So when you can get more physical with Steph Curry, that's why he needed Kevin Durant to be able to shoot these big-time shots at the end of the game because the physicality of a 6'7" guy guarding him makes it that much tougher, especially in a playoff atmosphere. So I will be surprised if the Lakers don't win by more than 12 points because I think that they're going to be ready to go and really use this game to rocket them towards the Western Conference playoffs and be ready to go.
Yeah, they'll be ready for Phoenix after this too, And LeBron has mad respect for Steph Curry. It's not like he's never going to belittle or diminish his talents. He knows that this man has skills. He knows that this guy is the ultimate guy. So they're not taking it lightly. Let's be clear. It's not a thing where there's going to be tra-la-la about this. They definitely are going to take this as a serious matter. It's just that our arsenal is so deep and so healthy now that this is the worst nightmare for any playoff contention is for the Lakers to come back after a long-term injury of two of our biggest star players to come back and be a force now.
And then you got to watch LeBron because, he may be recruiting right now. You know what I'm saying? Like he drafted him to his all-star team. He's probably
Here we go.
Let's play against him. Let's make sure we play against him. He's going to come to LA. I'm going to take him out to dinner the night before, do all these great things for him. So when that contract is up, let's put on this Laker jersey and bring some more championships to Tinseltown, baby.
I'm going to tell you something. Golden State's going to throw so much money at Steph Curry to leave. I doubt the Lakers will be able to afford it. We may have to lose a whole half of team or second bench in order to get him. So I don't know. And he can't win a game by himself, Les, to your point. Yeah, the Lakers do have depth, and they're a healthy depth. Ben McLemore, where'd he come from?
Man,
I mean, I love it.
I was confused. I kept thinking they were talking about Macklemore was like on Courtside or something. I kept for a second, I didn't understand who this kid was. So.
And let's not even talk about THT being on fire postseason. And then we got KCP postseason. Regular season KCP is always shaky, but postseason KCP. I'm sorry, the list is just too long to say. Against Steph Curry and some Tito's.
So there's no excuse for a loss, then, is what you're saying.
It should not be.
Mel and Mo, just like Charles Barkley always says, I guarantee.
Don't put that Charles Barkley guarantee because he guaranteed it took an L on that.
Yeah, but the Hornets and they lost by like
that was a wrong guarantee.
True. But no, I think the Lakers are going to take care of business. Just too much for Steph by himself. Andrew Wiggins can easily show up and give you 10 points.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be out of hand. So I think the Lakers take care of business. Guarantee.
Okay. Mykell,
Yeah.
I'm
All right,
roll
so
with
I
you
know
on
you
that.
mentioned LeBron, obviously, his respect for Steph and such.
Mhm.
Now, LeBron did, I think, mention as of yesterday or today that he does believe Steph to be the MVP. So is that something that you guys agree with, is Steph being the MVP, or who do you think deserves the MVP for the season?
I think
I would say Chris Paul before anything. I think to bring Phoenix to where they are.
yeah.
I mean,
I would say that too, Chris Paul. But they also look at the numbers and stats.
yeah,
And Jokic is going to win the MVP award. Just the
just
fact
off
that
of stats. Yeah.
his team is top 3 in the West. He led his team, I believe, in if not every category, major category, nearly every category. Shout out to my guy, friend, and like mentor, Chris Broussard, who's an actual voter for the award.
Oh, nice.
We had this discussion, and I was like, Chris Paul, you see what he did, but Chris Paul's only averaging 16 and 8.
Right.
So if numbers were 20 and 10, I think it would be an easy call. But Jokic, with the numbers he's having, like 25 points, 10 plus rebounds, 8 assists, and leading his team in so many categories. You just have to give it to Jokic because Embiid was the MVP because how dominant he was, but he dealt with injuries. LeBron would have been the MVP. He dealt with injuries. So it just pretty much fell into Jokic's lap. And with him staying the healthiest, he's going to win the MVP award.
Okay. Yeah, the Jokic talk had been going on circulating for quite some time. It just kind of had fizzled because the focus was on Steph Curry because of the monster action he's had in ending the regular season with the 50 points consistently. But yeah, you got a great point. I only look, and again, it's an analyzation of what does MVP stand for.
True.
You look at it as the value as far as the dollar amount or the value to the team, or do you look at the leadership aspect, or do you look at the stats? So it's all of these things that factor into what they, I guess, assumably call an MVP. But I don't disagree with you at all, Mykell. That's possibly going to be the thing, especially if you spoke with Broussard. Shout out to him.
Yeah, it's my guy. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because think about this. I think it was 06 and 07 where Kobe was averaging, like 1 year he averaged 35, 6 and 6.
We had a comment just on that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you can't change the way that the award is given. Like Steve Nash was averaging 14 and 10, and he received MVP because his team had the best record in the league. And I just don't think that you can change those standards because it's going to be like, damn, why couldn't you give it to Kobe when he was clearly the best player in the league, playing with, once again, Kwame Brown, Smush Parker, and those guys. So,
well, you knew that reason. It was personal because of the situation in Denver.
Yeah, I understand that.
And that's what took it out of it. And that's why I said what circumvents the decision making of what is the MVP, who is the brand representative of the league. And I go outside as well as in. So I don't know.
And this narrative as well, it's going to be Jokic is going to be the first center to win the MVP if he gets it since Shaq, which is an incredible story. So it's easy to sell that to where if you give it to Steph Curry, a lot of media is going to be like, man, this guy team, they might be the 8th seed or they might not make the playoffs. So how can you give a guy the MVP awards if that's his team's record? Because it's all about uplifting your team anyway. And at the 8th seed or 9th seed, it's hard to say that you were the most valuable player in the entire NBA.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You know,
so I just want to touch on briefly the 2021 Hall of Fame inductees that got announced were Chris Bosh, Paul Pierce, Chris Webber, Ben Wallace, Rick Adelman, Bill Russell, and of course from the ladies, Yolanda Griffith and Lauren Jackson. Also Tony Kukoc, who I really, of course, I'm a Bulls fan, so I'm all for Tony getting in there with the international one. So I know some people have had gripes about it. I don't want to spend too much time on it because one of the top topics I want to talk about was also the MLB's no-hitters. There's currently one we're watching right now that could happen as well. We just had one last night. There could be another one today. Yes. So anything on the Hall of Famers that you guys have? I've been a long time Chris fan. I want to say a fan, maybe a stalker since I was a kid. So I'm happy he's getting in. Whether people will just think that he deserves it or not, I'm glad for Chris Webber. I'm glad for Chris Bosh. Paul Pierce definitely deserves, I think, to be in there as well. But anybody you think shouldn't be there? Well, Tim Duncan and
2020.
For 2020. This is for
20,
2020.
right. Oh, 2021, you're talking about the
2021 is going to
announcement.
go
Got you.
in September. It's going to be in
Got
September,
you.
yeah.
I love it. Ben Wallace being the first, I believe the first ever undrafted player to go into the Hall of Fame. Chris Webber deserves it, no matter what anyone says. What he
Long
did,
overdue.
yeah, the Fab Five, like that was incredible.
Yeah.
They changed the culture of basketball, and he was a really good player with the Bullets, with the Sacramento Kings. So I love it. I wish the NBA actually had their own Hall of Fame, a la the NFL, just so it wouldn't be these type of debates, because we would just look at their NBA career, not what they did overseas, college, high school, just NBA career, which will make it much more easier. But I think they did a great job with this class.
All the picks were good in this class.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, I love Ben Wallace when he was on those Detroit Pistons. That was like a reincarnation that year, and they won championship, and to come back like that, and to see those guys be on there, and the women, like, give it up, like that's major.
It's nice they start bringing these ladies in there too.
Yes, exactly. The inclusiveness of that. So I don't have no qualms with this class at all.
Lauren Jackson was.
She what?
Yeah, Lauren Jackson, she was amazing. Just to think that Sue Bird was her teammate and she's still playing.
Right.
I need what she's drinking and eating.
Right.
Yo, and Sue Bird before their game this weekend was like, my teammate, her mom is the same age as me.
Right. Well, Sue Bird ain't put the shoes down. She's still playing.
And she still
otherwise she would have been in the class too. She ain't ready to leave. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
There. She's coming. Yeah.
So our current no-hitter that's happening is with the Yankees. Kluber hasn't allowed a hit through 8 innings versus the Rangers. This is happening now. Last night, the Mariners took the L to the Detroit Tigers for a no-hitter, which they hadn't had one since like 2011. Granted, the Mariners made history, and not in the way that I would want them to. They are the 5th team in history to have, since 1900, to have 2 no-hitters twice in a month, or to have a no-hitter twice in a month.
Wow. Wow. And I'm an Angels fan. I love to see it.
I mean,
what's crazy is that they almost had a third last Thursday against Cleveland. They went to 7 or 8 innings, and then all of a sudden we got a couple runs, I think, in the 8th inning. But literally, that could have been 3 in a month.
Wow.
It's the Mariners.
And someone had posted today.
It's the Mariners. I don't even know what you want to say.
Somebody had posted today, like, the chances of seeing a no-hitter, like, live or even being able to experience it was like 1 in 800 and something. Like, it was a crazy number, yet we're seeing them now possibly again today. So is there something happening out there in Major League Baseball that's causing?
Possibly.
Is it just pitchers?
Possibly.
Is it just...
We got pitchers with great arms, it sounds like, out there.
To me, I think that it comes down to I think they're coaching too much for the long ball. I think back in the day, we used to praise just great hitting, like the hitting averages, how many hits you get in a year. But once it became the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, it became about the long ball to where guys want to do that instead of I'm just going to hit and get on base. Ted Williams is the name they always bring up, because that's what he was, a guy that just was always hitting the ball and getting on base. So I think that the coaches need to focus back in on that. Like, let's just get back to getting hits, getting on base, and then being able to run the bases. And that's how we can score instead of always looking for the long ball. And the media is a part of it, because on TV, who they're showing? Ohtani.
Ohtani, man.
And stuff like that. But it has to be more than just home runs, because Ohtani's hitting all these home runs. Mike Trout has been great for my Angels for years, but they don't win any games. So
exactly. It gets them nowhere. I was just about to say, you can hit that long ball all day and it gets you nowhere. And I'm sorry, but our short game with the Dodgers bullpen is what has made us successmen. Yes, we go yard every once in a while, but we do have a short game, and we have a lot of pinch hitters in our bullpen that can hit hit men on base. We do RBIs, like we lead in RBIs. You know what I mean? And it's usually not going for yards. So that's the best thing you can do with this thing.
Yeah.
But for Seattle, y'all doing so well too. Like, I don't understand.
It's May, it's like March, April, cool. May comes and it's like, so this is our turnaround. So like if we can't get back up on 500, I think we're like 1 game out from a 500. it might be a downward turn. But it's sad because we just brought up two hot prospects. One of them, he hit a home run on his first at bat. I mean, these kids are good. It's just that it's the Mariners. We have a jinx.
Yeah.
We got like one of those Chicago White Sox.
And then you guys get players traded out and going to other teams. I mean, it's just a lot of fiascos going on with that too.
Yeah, it's insane. So another thing that we're kind of getting close. I want to make sure we wrap up the time because we got the games to watch. But I got to give it up to this guy right here.
Oh man,
let me tell you
about it.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah,
boy,
give him his flowers for real.
He's still playing
for real.
Yes, and playing well. This man had like 34 saves last night. Okay, and they should have won. They should have. I think his was like 30, 27, 32, something like that. But they should have won Sunday. But of course, went to overtime. They got like a quick goal. I think.
I'll tell you something. Minnesota's no joke. I'm not gonna diminish Minnesota Wild at all. I can't. I'm not going to say nothing bad about Minnesota Wild at this point because they are strong defensively and offensively. We were very lucky to win that game too. I'm not even going to front because game one to go all those periods with no scoring and have to go into overtime and they still scored. That says a whole lot. Minnesota Wild ain't no slouch. This is probably going to be our toughest playoff game we've got so far.
And now we got to go to Minnesota and play tomorrow. And I think that's what's going to be even tougher. Not being at home. Like, our fans, we had so many fans there yesterday. Like you could almost barely see the spaces between the seats in
what
T-Mobile
was the count,
yesterday.
did they say? How many?
I don't know, but it was definitely more than the 9,000 they were looking at.
That they had the day before or Sundays.
I would say it was, a lot more.
Yeah, Flowers is doing his thing. He's doing his job. He is not out by far. Let's not say this man's career is over because it's not. You literally have to give him his flowers for real because shout out to the helmet too. Can I just talk about the helmet? The helmet is the most fire helmet I've ever seen in my life. First of all, it's got that side that's airbrushed with the Welcome to Las Vegas sign on it. And then it's so sleek. It is the best goalie helmet I've ever seen. It is so fire. Not to mention the gold pads that he makes those stops with and has all those saves from. But that helmet is everything. Yeah.
Now I thought there's been some like some discussion on like some of the toughest positions in sports at play. I really think that an NHL goalie is like right up there. Like the speed of that puck. Your peripheral vision's cut off from the helmet. Second of all, you really can't see too much high or low. And then you've got how much does the gear weigh that you're putting on? And you got to be moving, and you're on your knees, and you're on skates.
All the pressure is on you because, like in the game of hockey, it's like whoever has the hottest goalie a lot of time wins the Stanley Cup. So it's like for you to play as long as he is it just shows how special of a player he is. So kudos to him.
He's very special. But we need
I
to
loved
advance.
him with Pittsburgh. I loved him with Pittsburgh with Sid the Kid. So to see him still going with those beautiful jerseys out there that they have in Vegas.
Man, the night jerseys go hard. I'm not even going to front. They are the hardest things ever. They are. And Ryan Reynolds is
still playing at a top level, still playing a top level caliber. Like you can't deny him all that.
And also with game one, we didn't have Revo in. Revo came back on game two, so that did help quite a bit.
And we still got Pacioretty out too.
Yeah, and Pacioretty's like so. Minnesota Wild is gonna be a hard run.
Yeah,
I think we got it.
And I pray we pull it off. I pray we don't.
It'll be hard to get one there. That'll be hard.
It's gonna be very hard, but I think we can do it. I believe in our Knights, and they love our city so much, and the fans are so loyal that it's just we got to do it. It's like a winter bus.
Yeah.
So quickly up to the WNBA, our Aces have their first home game this Friday against the Sparks. I didn't realize that the LA was like one of the only teams that's only played one game so far. Like they played on Friday Friday for opening night and not playing again until next Friday, where we had already played two up in Seattle. Your take on how the Sparks are doing this season? The team is like, losing Candace Parker amongst a few other people. You guys hanging in there?
Yeah, they just have to adjust. Game number one got out of hand in the fourth quarter. They just have to figure out who is going to be the wing player that can make it easier for Nneka and Chene, because game number 1, they didn't really get anything from outside shooting. They didn't rebound where, like, they were out rebound by 20 plus rebounds in their opener. So it's just going to be who's going to step up as a wing that can get buckets, that people have to focus on that, to where it's going to allow Nneka and Chene to get their space to go and get their buckets. But yeah, they have to figure it out. Coach Fisher was talking about it in a couple of the press conferences this week, because, you lose Candace. Simone Augustus retired. They thought she was going to help. Chrissy Tolliver, she hasn't played in 2 years now, so she has to get her feet back under her. So it's going to be very interesting. They have some talent there. It's just figuring out the pieces around them. Can they knock down outside shots? Can they rebound? Can they stop the transition? So they kind of took that first game and was just like, hey, let's look at it and throw it away. We get pretty much a week off, which is crazy to play again. They were able to scrimmage against the Aces a couple times. I was able to check it out.
Right.
They even got a win, and then one time it was a tie.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting Friday to see if they can step up and get that win. But the first game didn't look great. So hopefully the ladies figured it out, and Coach Fisher figured it out with them.
Well, I feel on the first game didn't look great, because our first game against Seattle didn't look great either. And
but our third game did with them.
The second game, the second game with them was good.
Second game, second
but
game,
however, we
That was
also
the
went
third in the
against
series.
a team where Sue Bird took 2 shots. Like, when does that ever happen that Sue Bird takes 2 shots?
Right.
So our defense definitely stepped up. I think Coach Bill had a great talk with the ladies to get them going a little bit more. So it was good. I know Mo's game must be getting exciting, because I see her taking it out. No, take it.
Nancy, we got to wrap this up. I'm sorry.
We're gonna wrap it up.
I just want this is good.
We're gonna wrap it up. I just wanted to mention.
So Yankees Corey Kubler throws a no-hitter versus the Rangers, 8th time in MLB history. That just came across.
Wow.
Back-to-back no-hitters. This is crazy.
That's crazy.
Before we go though, I wanted to shout out the girl power for the day. Carrie Klein. Man, listen. Talk about girl power. I mean, she's believed to be the highest ranking woman in NFL scouting department in the league history, which is amazing. She has been all the highest accolades from the Broncos organization. So I'm excited for that. And we all know that the Broncos probably could use the help. So
agreed.
Maybe a female touch will be what it takes in the AFC West for them.
No doubt. But hey, Mykell, where can everybody look for you?
Yes.
Where can they follow you as far as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? If the show has a page, whatever, let us know so that we can let them know. I can put it in our bio. We will post it, and then get you some more stuff.
Yeah, so you can find me at Mykell the PG, MYKELLTHE PG. TGN Sports on Instagram, the Good News Radio on Instagram, Courtside Radio on Instagram. Don't at me _official on Instagram. My Twitter is the same, Mykell the PG. Mykell Mathieu on Facebook, last name MATHIEU. You can watch Don't At Me on YouTube under Don't At Me _official. Courtside Radio, you can find us on all of your favorite podcast platforms, or download the Good News Radio app, man, because all of our shows to our network is live. So you can interact in the chat room with our app, or even call into the studio, because it's live radio that turns into podcast. So you can find me all over the place, man. I'm grinding right now.
Yeah, everywhere. That's dope.
So right now the score is 19-16 first quarter. Lakers down by 3 with 3 minutes and 36 into the game. Now it's 20-16. Golden State, they just scored again, so we're 4
because there was a bet you could make on who scored the 21st, and they had, I think the Warriors were like plus 180 or something like that. Dang.
Oh wow, should have played that.
Dang.
So this turned out blazing early, so that means Mykell and myself, we have to be the good luck charms and watch this game. Okay, that means we are not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
It's so great talking to you. We look forward to joining you next week on your show. Can't wait to talk about all of this and more.
Yeah.
And peace in the West, man. Keep it light out there.
Thank you. And thanks for everybody that tuned in and watched. Make sure to share.
Thank you.
And we'll see y'all next Wednesday. Bye.
Yeah. We are out.